including Bermuda, we're just little mice in the great big world filled with these giant cats, tigers, lions, lionesses, leopards. They come in all shapes, all colors, but they don't change their spots. So, that's one of the things that we have to be extremely strategic about in how we go forward. And, I'm going to end on this because I have guests in the studio. But that's one of the reasons why I'm very, very supportive of CARICOM and being a full member, because we need to be developing relationships, and we need to have those relationships so that we have options. We have options. Regardless of what's going on in the world, we have options. Now, if big old bad America or Russia or China wants to come and consume us, there's not much we could do against military might. But that's not the fight. That's not the fight. The fight is all about respect and being able to maneuver in a way that does not threaten anyone else in any way, while at the same time looking out for our best interests as a small island nation who can think for itself, do for itself, with the assistance of relationships, helping us to be all that we can be with what we have to work with.
Man, let me tell you this real quick before you leave. All my years being involved in track and field, and eventually administratively, and going down into the Caribbean, from an administrative standpoint or an executive standpoint, as a part of the Bermuda Track and Field Association, one thing I realized in meetings, that Bermudians were the aggressor and were the most listened to, and ended up controlling a lot of the dialogue and the changes that needed to take place in the region where track and field is concerned. That's why you see a Donna Wren out there sitting on the World Athletics board. And it just makes me smile that we're not confident to realize that we could play a major role. The islands respect our opinions.
Absolutely. And I know from experience because, I accompanied Donna Rayner years ago when we put a bid in for CARICOM, and we, I think, put up somewhere close or just above $400,000. And she done human work in making sure the presentation was as transparent as possible, and did a first-class job in convincing all of the Caribbean involved with CARIFTA that Bermuda would be the best choice to bring it back. And we were successful in the bid. But it was in no small way not through the human effort of Donna Rayner and her team.
Bermudians are respected like that in the Caribbean. Our intellect shines when we're in diplomatic situations with the rest of the Caribbean. They listen to us. And it's just disappointing to me that Bermuda, politically speaking, is in a situation where they almost act like they're cowardice when it comes to independence. It just makes no sense to me, because that's not what actually happens when we are involved in the Caribbean. Having been involved myself, so now, man. But anyway,
all right. Well, thank you, sir.
Looking forward to listening to your guests and continuing some of this stuff and being educated by other people. Hopefully they can call in maybe with better insight than us.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Talk to you later.
Another $100 for these few things? Every week is the same thing. Hey, girl, you know what that is. Pure nonsense. Tell me about it. But what choice do we have? You've got more choice than you think at purenonsense.com, and that's NONCENTS. We help Bermudians compare local prices on almost anything they can find on island and show you exactly how to import for yourself. Import myself? That sounds complicated. Not at all. Just 4 simple steps. Then you'll see your estimated savings. There's no buying in bulk bulk or renting containers, no changes to what you buy, and it's free. You mean I can cut cost on things I buy on a regular basis without any hassle or cost? That's financial freedom right there. We get it. Everything keeps going up. That's why we built PureNonsense.com. We feel your pain, and we're here to make saving simple.
It's time to stop complaining and start saving. Visit PureNonsense.com today and find out how you can start using their free tool to help you and your family save. Pure Nonsense. Live duty free.
Talk, grown folk music, a grown folk station. Magic 102.7.
And it's Magic 102.7 FM. The telephones are going off the hook, but we have in-studio guests, and we have another in-studio guest following our guest this afternoon. And it's a very interesting conversation that we have been talking about and hypothetically looking at from a solution-based perspective to try and figure out what we need to do to address in a successful way what it is that we're concerned about, particularly as it relates to violence. All sorts of violence, not just gun violence. And so I'm blessed to have in studio today a very young gentleman who is looking to do some very impactful and effective work with others who would be interested in addressing the problem with a little more than just words. We've all been addressing the problem with words, but there's not been as much action that would be necessary to curtail and turn around the mindset of those that would engage in conflict resolution by way of violence. Hasn't happened yet. As much effort has been put into it by various constituencies, and when I say constituencies, I'm talking about those that are in the third sector, which would be the charities, those that are government representatives and quangos that are given the responsibility of addressing the problem, those individuals and organizations that are also very concerned, particularly around club facilities where much of the violence has in the past manifested by way of dysfunctional behavior within proximity of those establishments. There has not been the kind of success as a measured outcome based on a strategic approach to implementing a resolution by way of strategy. So I have with me in studio this afternoon Mr. Malachi Eversley, who's the chairman of the Life Campaign Against Violence. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How you doing, Bermuda? Well, thank you for having me on the show. Yes, but last time I was on the show was on Boots' show, and it was very insightful, very enlightening, and we touched on a lot of different things. So I'm glad to be back again, and I'm going to have some giveaways again. What I did is I grew up without a dad at the age of, they say I was about 16. Okay. My daddy died. He got shot. Now I'm 44. So you can see that it's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I know how it feels to grow up without a father, and a lot of these children are growing up without fathers,
How did you manage?
Well, luckily I have more than one brother, and my mama, she was very strong. So the mamas have to pick up a lot of weight when the dad's not there. A lot of it. She had to work 3 jobs.
And the family at large, too.
Yeah, and the family at large.
If they're caring.
Yes, and if they're caring. So it's so hard, So as I got older, I realized, I said, why don't I do something? So I decided, I wrote a song, it's called Life's Not a Joke Thing. And the song's very impactful, very insightful, And then I took the song lyrics and I said, let me put it on a shirt. Let me put it on a hat. And I decided to use my own money. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give away $1,000 worth of my own money, merchandise. Just give it away to people. Just to get the word out there that, we don't condone no violence. Not even just gun violence. Any type of violence, We have to find different ways to resolve the conflicts. You know what I mean? We have to find, like, our last resort should be want to harm our own brethren.
Yeah.
That some brethren we grew up with all our life.
Yeah.
It might be something small, we just want to harm them, you know what I mean? So we have to find different avenues and different ways. So we have to give it to the children. So what I want to do is, what I'm going to do, put it that way, I'll be speaking at schools, you know, like Dalwood Middle School, the Cedar Bridge, the Berkeley, and I'll be giving away my merchandise at these schools as well. You know, because it's up to us to get the message out there, so the children could understand that we do care as well.
What about strategies for conflict resolution? So there are individuals or groups that have what we would term in street language a beef.
Yeah.
Over whatever it might be. How do you see such strategies being developed where there is a level of trust by the two opposing groups to just take the first step in beginning to appreciate that it's possible to resolve the conflict without violence?
Well, what we have to do, we have to find the root. So when you start from the root, then you find the cure. So what you would do is, nowadays you got children growing up, and they got I wouldn't say hate, but they'll be like the children, and they're like, oh, he done something to my dad, and I don't like him because vengeance, you know. And the other two probably don't even know each other like that, you know. But they got a thing in them. Oh, they rap this side, I rap this side, and they just want to rap a ding, you know what I mean? Or it could be not even a rapping again. It could be just, oh, this guy done me wrong back in the day. I don't like him for that. Yeah. So to find resolution in it within the schools, you have to teach the children from small. Even from small, yeah, start from small. But even if you miss that bracket, you could even do it in middle school, and you have to teach them that, like, violence is not the only answer to resolve your conflict. So, for example, if two boys are in school and you notice, because if they start fighting from primary school, then they start fighting in middle school, then it trickles to the streets. And then it goes in the streets, and then the same people that's in school, they're fighting in the streets. And then because it starts from the school. So if you see these two boys in school always fighting, or this person fighting, why don't you put them in the same class? Give them some tasks after school, make them work together. Might be a project to work on. Then they might say, oh, they find out them two are friends. They're cool. They have things in common. You know what I mean? Instead of separating them, put him over there, or expel him, get him out of the school.
I think that's a great idea and a great start. The challenge that we would have to surround it all and put it in kind of a bubble is to also have the attention on the associates of the individuals, because there's the influence. So they might get into class in a controlled environment, such as a classroom or a school, whether they're doing an activity or helping each other on a project, and they find out, you know what, not much difference. But how do you build that character in them to stand up to the group and say, nah, man, this beef is no longer, we guys are working together? Many would be completely opposed to that out of fear, because of the ridicule or the excommunication, and that then they themselves become an example, so that no one else in that group decides to cooperate with resolution.
With revolution.
The other thing is that when we look in a global context, because these youngsters that are engaged in a lot of the dysfunctional activities that end up manifesting in the violence that we have experienced over the years, are aware now. They're on social media. They're seeing women in dresses and high heels tumbling on the ground, fighting, and scratching and beating each other. They're seeing men do the same thing. Then they look at a bigger picture, and they see leaders of the world.
They're doing the same thing.
They're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
conflict resolution by way of military might and war. War.
Everywhere's war. Yeah.
Everywhere. So for us being so exposed now and not being so isolated like we were, 30 years ago, where you didn't get as much information without even asking for it to influence you in a way, depending on what the issue was, to act or react in ways that might not be the best and deemed to be antisocial. These kind of challenges, so getting to the root of it, as you mentioned, I think it's the first step that is imperative. The other imperative step is to try to find ways to build bridges between those that have destroyed the bridge. And there's no two-way traffic. It's one-way traffic, one-way thinking. There's a mindset. There's then the other element of social media that's influencing pop culture, how to dress, how to speak, how to walk, how to talk.
Man, it's deep.
It goes deep. And then that is what the young people, where we need to really reach.
Yeah, that's what they gravitate to.
That's what they're gravitating to because it's now become an acceptable norm. It's not,
No form of righteousness.
It's a weakness.
If taught righteousness, they would never.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and it's the other thing too is the music as well.
Yeah.
Because I was
The music, the movies,
all that. When I was on British show, we was talking about the frequency in the music.
Yeah.
And you got these songs that promote violence.
Oh, of course.
Promote it to a high level, like you know what I mean.
Well, you've had the artists who have been assassinated.
Yeah.
Right. You got Biggie Smalls. You've got Tupac, just to name a few, because they were the most high profile because of the success they both enjoyed and coming from opposite ends of the country.
Right.
So it became a huge thing because news media love sensationalized news.
Yeah.
So when it's anything to do with negative sensationalization, they're going to be on it because that's going to get them views. They don't care about the consequence.
Yeah.
No, they don't care about it.
No.
Yeah.
Because they don't learn what the consequences like. What the consequences really gonna take place is like $100 costs you $1,000. No, you're not looking at it. You're just looking at $100 problem, not knowing it's gonna cost you $1,000. The liability never stand fair. So if you weren't taught before, some people taught, but they don't really pay attention to what they were taught. But you can't say you weren't taught. So they stray from the real love, like I would say, trying to love your neighbor as yourself. And that would be a little and over to make this happen. Yeah. There's no other way. If you can't learn righteousness, we're not going to have peace. You have the churches, they're divided. They don't come together. So from there, and they refer to the Most High. So from there, we have weakness. And that's what causing all this violence because of one word, disobedient. We disobedient to our Father in heaven. So we disobedient to our fathers on earth. So from there, you have the government takes youths under their control, where you as parent can't fully take control. So even what you taught them here, if they don't learn it in school, they take religious education out of school because you can teach my son one thing and he's teaching him this thing and he's teaching this, and everyone denomination is relevant. So I'm right, you said I'm wrong. You said you're right, I said you're wrong. So it's a confusion. And that's what causing this.
Yep, and out of confusion comes control.
Yeah.
It's who controls the confusion.
Yeah.
And if they keep us at odds and they keep us divided, there is not going to be levels of mindset that want to focus on inclusivity. They want to maintain levels of separation.
And divide and conquer.
And there is merit for that to some degree, because we do have to look out for ourselves. So if someone is free to do as they would, that is not in line or aligned with what we believe is the right thing, then we say, okay, we're going to be separate. We're not going to engage there. So it's like life itself. It's about the choices. You got the choice of being obedient to the law or disobedient and suffering the consequence.
Right.
But these are the kinds of principal rules that need to be instilled in kids almost like an indoctrination. So for instance, as an example, I know when I was going to primary school, at that time, at that level in school, the material that we had, the exercise books that we called them, that we had blank pages in where we did all the writing and all the math and everything else, on the back of those blue books was the tables.
Yeah.
From
I remember that.
first to the 12th.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the time you finished primary school, there would be only a few of you that could not, at the snap of a finger, give an answer to any multiplication within those 12 multiple tables.
Yes.
Right? We had to learn it by heart. And that in itself instilled discipline.
Yeah.
When we went to Sunday school, we were given a verse every week. We came back, we had to commit that verse to memory. Like the timetables in school. These were reinforced in the home. Because your parents would say, okay, what's the verse you're learning from the Bible today? Okay, go over that 3 times table, go over that 5 times table, go over that 8 times table. You said, Structure.
All boys need structure.
And discipline.
And discipline. And you know the sad part is, for me growing up, I could give, and I know my story is probably similar to a lot of other children's stories. Like, my mom worked 200 jobs, so the structure is not going to be there. And you got how many other parents doing that?
Yep.
You know, so one solution would be if the government could try to make things more affordable and make parents don't have to struggle so much to just save a little bit of dollar. Because if your mom's got to work 200 jobs, the child comes home from school, nobody's there. Who is there? The phone's there, the TV's there, and the streets are there, the people outside.
Yeah.
So nobody's really putting that main structure because you got your child inside. You taught them so much, but then when you're not around, they're easily influenced by your person. You know, you can be easily influenced, and we have to look to. That is one situation where I don't know how can we resolve that or put more emphasis on it, but that needs to be looked at. And another one would be looked at as children are small in primary school. In primary school, they should have classes where they teach them the ins, the downs, the rights and the wrongs, the ins and the outs about music. About how music can affect us, what is good music, what is bad music. Tell the children, what is good music, what is bad music. Have some examples for them so they can grow up and know these examples. And you might get out of 100 kids, you might get 10 say, no, I don't want to listen to that. I grew up, my teacher told me that's not the right way to music, to vibe with, you know what I mean? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if it was the 60s, they was making music back then, was making children more, a lot of revolutionaries getting born back then. And then all of a sudden the music changed to I don't even know what you call it anymore.
Well, because of the almighty dollar.
Yeah.
Which was driven by those that controlled the industry, which weren't people that looked like us. We were the dollar makers.
Right.
But we weren't the dollar takers.
Right.
The dollar takers were those that owned the record labels that decided on what would be promoted and produced and made available for consumers. And we didn't take the responsibility, again, because of King Dollar being accessible if we conformed to what was acceptable by those who had the resources to provide the studio time and to provide the contracts, again, for the dollar.
For the dollar.
Okay?
Right.
So, we had the Last Poets. We had the Flavor Flav group, Public Enemy. We had KRS-One.
Yeah.
All right? These individuals never compromised the integrity of what they felt a responsibility for in influencing people by way of their creative ingenuity that was expressed through music.
Through music,
They never compromised that. But they were overwhelmed because there were so many others that wanted to make a living doing what they had a talent to do, and they didn't care how or what principles that they abided by to maintain some level of, decorum and boundaries within the music. So now it's just everywhere. a free-for-all.
Free for.
Yeah. But I want to say this, Malachi, because I got my next guest.
Yes.
I would like you next month to come back, give me an update, and I'm going to afford you a whole hour. You could bring in maybe a couple of students or anyone else that you are engaged with in the endeavor as chairman of the Life Campaign Against Violence. I glory in your spirit. We need more like you. We need more boots on the ground that are not just speaking and talking the talk, but prepared to walk the walk. And it takes a lot of sacrifice, an awful lot of commitment to do what you're doing as an individual. You mentioned something about the government and bringing the prices down. The government is responsible for initiating and implementing policy. Even when they do that, not everybody follows it. I want the beckoning call to be to people, because that's where the power is. The government would not be the government without the people expressing their power to vote and put them in place to do the things for those people. And the people need to hold them accountable. And by doing that, they got to first start holding themselves accountable too. You can't say, well, I put you there to do the job, and then it's on you. You got to be pulling in the same direction to actually be the foundation for the government to stand on your shoulders as the people. You got to lift up those politicians by making them accountable, because you're the power. And we get it all wrong, because we're very inclined to be very lazy when it comes to being responsible in certain ways, when we don't think the problem is going to affect us or is directly our problem. But when it traverses the entire community, and it is a community challenge, then everybody has to lend some level of support in the direction that would be appropriately and reasonably addressing the challenge. So with the cost of living, for instance, there are some grocers that are doing the best that they can, but there has to be an understanding that there's sometimes circumstances beyond your control. If I'm importing an apple because I can't grow one in Bermuda, and the guy says, oh, it used to be 50 cents, it's now $1.50. What do? Sell it for 75 cents and still be in the hole for 75 cents? I'm not going to be in business for long, am I? So it's not going to be an easy fix. It's not going to be a quick fix. And what we need to be is extremely vigilant. And I think that the government is looking to be vigilant in making sure that the people responsible for doing what they say they're going to do are going to be accountable in doing that. So don't say it's going to be a 50-cent discount on Wednesday.
And it's not.
On syrup, on Kellogg's cornflakes, right? And then on potatoes, it goes up by 75 cents.
So you get your money.
Even more.
Even more.
You know? So we need honest brokers, and we need honest people. And when you're driven just by the almighty dollar in times of challenge, people just become a statistic.
It's all
everybody is a consumer, but not everybody is a customer. And I believe that if there are some businesses in this community that decide they're going to give the customer service and be loyal to that customer, the customer in turn will be loyal to them, particularly if in a comparison analysis, those customers or consumers find out that there is an alternative. There is an option that's a little less than where I used to go, and I really enjoy going. But now it's come down to crunch time. It's affecting my pocket. If you're a parent and you've got 16, 17-year-olds, man, they're going to eat you out of house and home inside of 24 hours. How do you manage that?
It's hard.
And they don't want to hear, well, you got to sacrifice. You're going to eat soup for today and Wednesday and Friday. And maybe Tuesday and Thursday, I'll make you some curry chicken or something else. It's not going to happen. And then the same as it won't happen where you say, you know what? All of you who have a problem with the cost of bread, as an example, suppose there was at least 25% of this country I said, you know what? I'm not going to buy bread for a month. I'm going to buy flour and yeast and use some water
And make bread.
and some cinnamon and maybe some raisin and make my own bread for just a month. I think that would have an impact on the price of bread being reduced. I'm just saying as an example.
Yeah,
You could do that with any consumer product. But who's going to be willing to make the sacrifice? Because we're creatures of habit as human beings. We got to create new habits, like the old habits that are good habits. So you came up understanding if you wanted to have personal hygiene, you got to start with washing yourself and brushing your teeth. And if you didn't do it, or you went out without deodorant, even if you couldn't afford it, you're going to try to get some water, splash it on the arms real quick before there's a scent. Or you're not going to smile as much because you couldn't afford toothpaste. But it's not that you don't know and don't do it because you don't know. There might be a reason.
Yes, it could be a non.
But the habit is there. You know, if you could afford it, you'll be doing it before, especially if you're getting a little older and you want to kiss the girl on the cheek. What's the next step? So you want to make sure that so these are good habits that make sense because of the consequence if they weren't adapted and abided by. You would be outcast from society. So it's no different from, those of us, many, the majority of people in a society like ours, they're going to put on underwear. If they don't, it's either because they can't afford it or they choose not to. So it's the choices again. But these all contextualize in ways that make sense because in life there has to be boundaries, there has to be order. There has to be. Otherwise, there's going to be chaos and anarchy around every corner.
Yeah, you have to have structure order. When kids come home from school, they have to have a set routine. If you don't put that set routine, they'll be doing whatever comes into their mind. You have to have a set routine for them. And another thing I want to touch on, I said, if it's less jobs, there's always going to be more crime. If people are occupied and they're busy, crime rate goes down. So we have to look into, I don't know, they took the trade schools out, but I think it would
They're coming back now with the signature schools. So you hit on point.
Yeah.
That's something that's being reintroduced because now remember, we're going from the 3-tier system in education, public education, back to the 2-tier system. So there's not going to be in time middle schools anymore. You're going to go from primary school into high school like when I came up.
That's how we came
And I'm saying, why did you change something that worked for you when you were the politician making the policy changes? If it worked well for you, why did you change it if it wasn't broken?
Because it worked well for him, not the people.
It worked well.
It's for the people.
It's for the people.
You got that elementary going on where everybody learn different trades. Why you have to bring in people to come do buildings and roads and all of that? Maybe you got engineer. You got Bermudans that could be engineer that go away and study and come back and work for Bermuda. But a lot of what I notice, they got good talents, they got good standards, but they don't work here. They go away to work. No, you got to bring in people to work here, which more affordable when you bring in people to work than having your own status people to work, because sometimes you got children to deal with that, so you need a 24/7 flow. And it's more affordable. No, so that would work. But the thing about it, like I said, you put Bermudans first. And if you don't have a saying where I say, if you don't put your shoes on, you can't wear it. Bermuda is like a shoes for Bermudans. You can't afford for other people come, wear your shoes, and done it.
And got 3 pair. And got 3 pair. Yeah. It's a good point. Well, gentlemen, and what's your name? Colin?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Colin. And Malachi, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Again, in February, is what's touted around, in the Western world, and it's growing, I suppose, exponentially to a degree. February is being recognized as Black History Month. I think that would be a great time I think Education Month as well.
Yes.
But I think that would be a great time for you to come back on my show, God willing, and we could get a little bit more in depth and have a lot more time to speak and open up the telephones for people to call call
back.
and suggest.
Yes.
And if you want to save some of those for February, let's give them away in February. Or you want to give them away?
You could give them away now. If you want to get a free giveaway hat, right? You could give one to your child. You could keep one for yourself.
Beautiful and nice too.
I'm going to leave a couple here at Hot 107.5. So
on a first come first served basis, folks.
Yeah, first come first served
and
basis.
nobody can take more than 2. All right. And I only got about 2, 4, 6, about 8. So if you want to be unselfish,
I'll bring
you
some
just
more.
take 1.
I'm going to give him 15 hats.
Okay, all right. So on a first come first served basis, folks, even if I'm not here, you just come and say, I'd like to have a hat that has on it.
Life's not a joke ting.
Life's not a joke. Not a joke ting. Yeah. Life's not a joke ting.
And the other one's got life, because we have to be, our life is precious.
Yeah.
And we have to honor our life, you know what I mean? We have to honor it in so many different ways, what we put in it, how we talk, how we treat each other, how we interact and all, So, just our life is so precious, and you see a lot of people losing their lives. And, it hurts people, So I just want everybody to embrace that, Because I love my Bermudian people, They love us, So this will be here for you to collect. And also, if you can't get it here, come at Street Vibes. Street Vibes will have it on Cool Street, or you can check Benita Beauty Supply.
And do you have a contact number or email address or anything like that, Malachi?
Yeah, you could call 517-3877 or 777-8073.
Okay, say those numbers again.
517-3877 or 777-8073, and come get your merchandise.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, folks, there you have it. Malachi Eversley and Colin here as our very special in-studio guests. We have taken liberty to invite them back again in February. They will call India. She will schedule the interview so that it's confirmed in the earliest possible course.
Yes.
And we will continue this conversation at that point in time.
Love it.
Yes,
God bless you guys.
A little bit of addition to it.
Yes.
Say Bermuda raising children, not families.
Yes.
Bermuda raising children. That means you can talk to my son and I can talk to your son in a good manner and for a brighter and a better tomorrow.
That's right.
Okay?
All right.
If not, we're not going to have a brighter and a better tomorrow if we can't come together to grow the future. Thanks again and have a good evening.
and graced with the presence of the lovely Dr. Connie Frith, our first show in 2026. Yay! Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, my brother.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Yes, it's good to see you too.
Yeah, you're looking like the new year came in really good for you.
It did. Nice and
Even
quiet.
with all of the bugs that's been going around the community, right?
Many bugs.
Yeah.
Respiratory bugs.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that this afternoon as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And what might be conducive to helping you manage it as best you can.
Yes.
With conventional medicine or with alternatives, right?
Yes, well,
Yeah.
I'll come from an alternative
perspective. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
definitely a botanical perspective.
Yeah. So what are some of the bugs that's been going around that you've become aware of with your clients?
Well, there's been walking pneumonia. There's been asthma, allergies. There's certainly been the cough, cold, flu. And so, yeah, just chest infections, mucus congestion.
Oh, yeah. I had a major cough.
Yeah.
From New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, that I just kind of got rid of it like the last 72 hours or so.
Oh, really?
I really started feeling back to myself again.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though I was still working remotely, I'd come in and wipe down everything before I left. But I would come in when no one was here.
Yes.
To do some of the things that I still needed to get done, such as producing commercials and that kind of thing. But, oh boy, it could really make you not feel like doing anything.
According to children, I don't feel like doing nothing.
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 Yeah.
Yep, nothing.
Yeah.
N-O-F-F-I-N.
And this
nothing.
is like usually the flu season anyway, right?
It is. But I mean, there is no season now to the flu season. As we've discussed on previous shows, folks are developing the flu throughout the summer, throughout the spring.
That's amazing. What a change.
What a change indeed. And certainly the respiratory issues seem to just be continuing on for many folks. And so that's why it's important. I know I'm preaching the same sermon when it comes to health, healing, taking care of your respiratory system as best you can. But certainly you would want to stay away from dairy products. Because dairy products produce mucus congestion. So for those of you that love cheese, love ice cream, love to drink those beverages that have chocolate milk. I was just getting ready to say that, and and here you go, because the type of chocolate that's in that milk is not dark chocolate, as we all know.
But it tastes good.
Listen, you can pick your poison. You can either continue consuming what you like and be sick, or you can give it up and feel better. And certainly, sugary foods, beverages. Many people think that by drinking that ginger ale or that Coke soda, it's going to help with gas issues and the like. But what you're doing is actually putting excess sugar, processed sugar, in your system. So there are other ways to get rid of that gas, or that nausea, or that upset tummy. We can certainly take a different route other than soft drinks, bottled sodas. Yeah.
So what are the soft drinks outside of water? Because
your sodas, your juices, anything that's bottled and sits on the shelf for eons at a time, not good.
Yeah, because my question was going to be about how safe, or would you recommend any of the alternative drinks, which are deemed to be energy drinks. Those energy drinks have become so popular. Are they worse than the typical sodas and stuff that we use?
Well,
because the health conscious people seem to be really feeling those energy drinks.
I think if they were really that health conscious, they would check out the ingredients in those so-called energy drinks. I think they would check out the ingredients and certainly come to the conclusion that this probably is not what I should be consuming. If I am of a health conscious mindset, looking to make lifestyle changes and certainly looking to do some sort of detox in the new year, which so many people are doing. You know, they're coming in for detox herbs, they're looking for simple detox protocols, and the energy drinks would not be my recommendation at all. But some people live by it. You know?
And it's a huge market.
Yeah.
So
high in caffeine and high in preservatives.
And that's what spikes the energy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and
they came
it's
out
not,
of nowhere, and now, you don't know what to choose.
No,
there are so
I
many
know what to choose.
Well, I'm talking about among the energy drinks. Right?
Yes.
At one time, I remember it was just Lucozade. You know, that kind of thing, and then
or Gatorade.
Or Gatorade, right?
Yep.
But
Those
now you don't even hear those names anymore.
Monster, Celsius. What's the other one? Those two come to mind. I'm sure our listeners.
And they're not very cost effective either.
No, they are pricey. They are pricey.
Yeah.
And so I don't have that issue because I'm certainly not going to take my hard-earned money and go and support something that's going to cause me ill health down the road. Yeah.
So even for those that would be health conscious and say, you know what, I gotta at least sometimes have, one of my favorite tasting drinks, knowing that it might not be the best health-wise. In moderation, how much should they change? As opposed
Glenn,
to
you're really asking the wrong person.
As opposed to just dropping it all together.
You're really asking the wrong person because I don't subscribe to those type of lab
compromises.
Lab foods,
okay.
Right? Or chemically based foods.
Yeah.
I can't give advice on what the moderation level would be for something like that.
That's fair.
I just know that because of the high caffeine content, people have experienced rises in their blood pressure, in their blood sugar. Yeah. Certainly, they have come in with complaints, gastrointestinal complaints, and things of that nature. That's what comes to mind when they tell me that they're consuming those energy drinks.
Well, we have an aging population, Connie, right? So would you think that the older generation, notwithstanding we're creatures of habit, so they may have had bad habits all the way through their life, but now where they've got to this mature age, and every single day they live is a little closer to a day that they'll be called.
That goes for all of us.
That goes for all of us.
Yeah.
So do you see from your experience where the older people become, the more health conscious that they're becoming, or is it just the same old with many of them?
For so many of them, it's the same old.
They're in my category.
Right. They will go to the doctor. I told you about my good friend, right? They will go to the doctor, and the doctor will say, okay, so you have your blood pressure is off the chart, your blood sugar is off the chart, your cholesterol is off the chart.
Wow.
You need to make lifestyle changes. You need to revise your diet and drop certain foods, eliminate certain foods from your diet in order to reach better levels, with your health.
Right.
So to drop your blood pressure, to drop your blood sugar, to drop some weight along with your cholesterol, and they hear it. They don't hear it. Many of them hear it and will make the necessary changes. Others are, you're not moving them. This is what I like, and I'll just keep doing what I'm doing until the day I, as you say,
expire.
Yeah, expire.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, like I say, we're all going to expire. Anything could take us out.
Yeah.
Right now, with all the chemicals that are floating in the air, in our food, in our water, on the fabrics that we wear, our clothing, I've
never even thought about that, right? The fabrics that are in the clothing nowadays, you're saying even if they're washed as a byproduct, they're actually got chemicals in those
Yes.
fabrics that are getting into the pores of the skin.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you do have clothing companies that are pure wool, pure cotton, pure linen, pure hemp.
Yes.
And believe it or not, pure nettle. I wasn't aware of
Oh, wow.
how popular nettle thread was.
And it's durable?
Oh, yeah. I have a beautiful handbag that was gifted to me and a beautiful crocheted shawl.
Right.
All made from nettle thread.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely beautiful. The natural pigment.
And when you
of
say
the
what
herb.
kind of nettle, because I'm thinking stinging nettle.
Yeah, stinging
Wow.
nettle. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And so those are some of your natural fabrics. And like I say, you do have clothing companies that manufacture on that standard. Where they have a certain clientele that will pay to have pure fabrics like that, and with natural dyes, probably vegetable dyes or dyes from fruits or flowers or whatever, but
Right.
still natural dyes. And you do have an audience for that. You do have a clientele for that. And they will pay whatever they need to pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Yeah. We used to have stinging nettles growing here like wild. And then they're seasonal. So in the summer months,
They're out
they would
right
be
now. They're coming out right now.
dry. And we
Yeah.
used to make our brown paper bag boxies with the dry stinging nettle.
With the
Sticks.
nettle or fennel?
Oh, fennel.
Right. Now get it
Oh, that's
right.
different.
now.
Right,
Get
right.
it right.
The stinging nettle is different, right?
Yes, it is.
I'm thinking, right.
Yeah, no, it
I'm
was the
thinking
fennel
right.
sticks.
Yeah. And now the fennel is a good herb as well
It
for
is.
tea.
Yes, and it's very good for coughs. Yes,
Really?
It is.
Now you tell me.
Yeah, there are tea blends that have fennel seed in them.
Okay.
That helps to assist with coughing. Yeah.
You know where I've seen a lot of fennel and stinging nettle are along the Wark Dunes, like the trail, the walking
yes,
trail.
most definitely. Yes, at this
For
time of year.
And then you could take snippets of it, and it grows quite easily, doesn't it?
It does.
I've also seen sage in
Yes.
those areas because sage used to be all about the country.
You did.
But now you got to look far and
Well, we have
wide.
less land mass.
Of everything, yeah.
Right? We have less land mass that's been occupied by residential dwellings, commercial dwellings, or whatever. And you're disturbing the natural habitat of these herbs, and so you're not going to find them the way you found them when we were kids. When our parents and grandparents were using them, they're just not that available.
Yeah.
And people come in and ask all the time, do you have local herbs? And the answer is no, because I don't have time to go out and harvest or try and find out where they're growing.
Yeah.
Right? That is very time consuming.
Yeah.
And certainly the drying process and the whole 9 yards, if you're going to do it properly. Yeah. Because I have had some local herb products, dried herbs in tea form, but because they haven't been dried properly, they've molded.
Right. Okay.
So the drying process has to be
meticulous.
Correct. Yes.
And correct.
Yes.
We're talking about the fauna and the foliage and that kind of thing, and the herbs and all of that. We still, I think, have a pretty healthy bee population.
Yes,
that
we do.
depend on, and I've heard, it's the strangest thing that I've heard, that Indian laurels and those flowers are really great for the bees, but they're horrible if they get into your concrete in the house or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Just can't stop it.
Yes.
It's like, how do you find that compromise, right? And I know my friend Greg Hall from Rose Hill, the Halls, he's a great beekeeper, and there are a few others that are really good beekeepers.
Mr. Woolridge.
Yeah, and I thought, that there were fewer and fewer, but there seems to be more and more that are becoming interested. There's a gentleman, I don't know if he's of Portuguese descent, but he's Caucasian, who has some really nice, I would say, on par with Greg Hall, who I think has wonderful honey.
Yeah.
The flavor, it's just delicious. But this gentleman sells his next to Barnes up on Trimming Hill where they have the fish.
Yeah.
He has his honey up there. And I've had the opportunity to have some of his honey. It's really nice. So the bee producing honey makers really do a good job in Bermuda. And of course, it's a little more expensive than maybe some of the brand name honey. But I hear those brand name honeys aren't the best.
No, if you're going to the grocery store and you're particularly buying the U.S. honey products, you are buying high fructose corn syrup. It's as simple as that. There are articles and articles.
So the FDA doesn't hold them accountable?
Listen.
Or does it mean they just need to have a certain percentage of pure honey in the mix?
The FDA has dropped its standards. I know lots of folks take issue with Robert Kennedy Jr., right?
Yeah.
But the FDA have dropped their standards in the pharmaceutical industry, in the food industry.
He's been so critical of them.
Yes, he has been very critical, right?
And he's a medical doctor as well, isn't he?
No,
he's not a medical doctor.
No.
He's got his doctorate in some other discipline.
He probably does. Off the top of my head, I can't really say what that is. But certainly he has been an advocate for, less pharmaceuticals and cleaner foods. And it's no secret, Glenn, that, the FDA, their standards are not up to par. Certainly a lot of the food products that are certified USDA organic would never fly in Europe.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
There have been tons of articles written about that.
That's amazing that, the standards would not be pretty much flat across the board, right?
Well, it's not amazing because when you think about it, there are about 400 chemicals that Europe will not even allow in the country that the U.S. uses.
Wow.
Yeah. And that information, you can pull that up on. You don't have to take my word for it, seeing that they like to call what I say conspiracy theory. You can pull that up on the internet.
I didn't realize that the standards fluctuated so much between the U.S. and Europe.
They have a German Commission E. The German Commission E is supposed to be the equivalent of the FDA, but their standards are so through the roof on any type of food, body care products, pharmaceuticals, over-the-counters. You really have to go through rigorous testing in order to get any type of product out there. And with their approval and their sort of stamp of approval, which would be similar to the USDA certified organic stamp.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know what would be interesting, I think, if there was comparative analysis on different country populations regarding the diseases the population is afflicted with from one country compared to another, because there are some European countries that have incredible healthcare systems, healthcare coverage for their populations, and there are others that may not be, as well managed. But it would be interesting to get that data. How many people have, let's say, certain cancers, country by country. That data might be available.
I'm sure you can collect that data.
Because then you could look and drill down below the surface and say, okay, what is the typical diets of these folk? We know that the French, they love to eat bread with everything.
Yes,
and they drink a lot of wine.
Yeah, and wine.
Right?
Yeah. But they don't have the cholesterol issues that we have. They don't have the high blood pressure and high blood sugar and the like.
And so
their portions are way smaller. Okay, first of all, their portions are smaller, and they tend to eat a lot of lean protein and veg. Yeah.
You just answered the question because, the portions
portion control.
Huge in the United States.
We never used to be like that with our portions. I can tell you that. We have been so influenced buy the supersized drinks and all of the unlimited buffets.
Oh, in the
we were
US?
talking about Golden Corral the other day.
Oh, my God.
You know? And it's like GMO grown
Have
food.
you eaten there?
No, I would not eat there. You know, I'm gonna smack you. You know, good and well, I would not eat.
We have a big running joke in my family with the Golden Corral. My grandkids, anytime I'm with them and I'm abroad in the U.S., and they see a Golden Corral, it's like, Pumpeter's a restaurant. I can't stand it, but they like to tease me, right?
Yeah.
Because we had I think had one experience. Because you see the commercial.
Yeah.
This has been several years ago.
Yes.
And I don't know what it's like now.
Yeah.
But back then, it was the worst choice we could have ever made.
Yep.
You know, there was morsels of food, a little bit above microscopic, where the seeing eye could see, on utensils that supposedly would have been cleaned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we couldn't believe it. We up and out of there in a hurry.
Yeah.
But the people, it was full.
Full, absolutely.
You were waiting. It was in lines.
Cracker Barrel, the same thing.
Oh, really?
You know,
I've never
IHOP,
been there.
like
IHOP.
Yeah. Wendy's, Denny's.
And I've not been to a Wendy's. I've not been to a Denny's, but IHOP. Yeah. The breakfast sampler.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I don't do is scrambled eggs in anybody's restaurant.
Okay.
Because I think it's always powdered, isn't it? For the most part, right?
Well, I mean that's for some restaurants, the cheaper restaurants. But then if you're going to a more upscale restaurant,
it should be okay.
You will get eggs.
Well, I err on the side of
powder.
I err on the side of caution and take a fried egg or something, you know.
Yeah. Or poached, where you can see the yolk.
Yeah. But you have to be so very careful.
You do.
Now with chicken, we had some guests that were at an Airbnb before the holidays, and we decided we would get someone to cook meals for them because they didn't want to cook, and so I had gotten some chicken. Well, I had sent someone to get it, and it came back with legs.
That's right, Franken legs.
The legs looked like they were off of a rabbit, as opposed.
No, rabbit legs are small.
Oh, are they?
Off a dinosaur.
Yeah. But, I mean, literally, like.
Yep.
It's like, what do you do with that? So I actually gave it away to. I didn't want to give it to a family member or anybody else, because if I wasn't prepared to eat it, I didn't want to give it to someone else.
Yeah.
But I did, in a vicarious way, that I suppose is irresponsible. But I gave it. I told the restaurant that they could have it, and they would use it in whatever way, and I think they used it in either stew or some jerk chicken or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Not that there was anything necessarily wrong with it. I don't know. I can't speak to that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a
Glenn,
major in chemistry or anything like that. I don't know what they're pumping with the antibiotics in these animals to make sure that they're safe, or at least to a marketable standard. I don't know what that criteria might be. So I'm not going to judge. I do know that there's growth hormone. It's been given to not just animal, but in produce as well.
Oh, yeah.
To make things look redder, or to make things
enhance
grow faster,
the color,
and all of that kind
enhance
of
the
stuff.
size,
but I'm not going to be a judge and point a finger at any, because I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm very particular about what I choose.
And you should be. And you should be. And I think anybody with common sense looking at chicken would be able to say, this chicken looks abnormal.
Yeah.
We've had anybody that has had a mother or a grandmother over the last 50 years that's had to go out in the yard and wring the chicken's neck and bring it in, pluck the feathers, and put it in
I got
the
a
pot,
story about that when I was a little kid
chicken should
about
be.
a chicken, and how it was prepared. It's kind of funny for me now that you brought it up. I'll tell you right after this call. Magic 102.7. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
You guys are on a great topic because when you travel, especially to the United States, honey, what restaurant are you supposed to go to that's some food of any kind? No, I heard you mention Golden Corral. No.
Don't go there.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've been in all the restaurants, and it ain't nothing on the menu that's healthy. Maybe a vegetarian dish here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But when I walked into Golden Corral, especially in Texas, where it was a little different because the guy was saying they get fresh vegetables straight from the farm as opposed to being in a big city or whatever.
Mm-mm.
What I found interesting was you could select based on healthy what you want, even though it may not be the standard some may desire. But you could select more wholesome food compared to sitting down in a restaurant where you've got to accept what they cook, which is usually salty and usually...
Talking about an a la carte menu, yeah.
And you may get a little bit of vegetables on the side as opposed to you...
Frozen or canned.
You can go to the salad, you can go to the salad bar and get some spinach leaves and tomato or whatever, at least from the salad bar, and maybe a starch, a minor starch, and some maybe a little turkey or something, and some cranberry that you can see is decent. Because I'm not a pork person and all that anyway.
Right.
But my point is, would he like for me up into Burger King or Taco Bell or even going in Ching or whatever that's supposed to be upscale.
Yeah, PJ Chang. Yeah.
Now, restaurant.
I like that.
I liked it, but I'm saying to myself, what is so special and healthy about this place compared to me going to a buffet and be able to select what I want? That's healthy.
Yeah.
And that's the question.
I think it might be, what?
It's the alternative.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think it also might have a lot to do with who the franchise holder is and who their chefs are and how they do prepare their meals for their customers.
You hit it right on the head.
I think that's where because I've been to a few fast food during the course of my life, and I can tell you in some states are definitely not comparable to those in other states.
Yeah.
Lots better.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Rural versus city.
Yes. Correct.
If you're in restaurants in the rural areas, wholesome food is way better than when you're in the city.
Yeah.
Except when I was in Chicago.
Okay.
They had a supermarket there that had a buffet that had fresh, wholesome food. Like you wouldn't believe that place had a line. And that was a different category. I mean, if every place had a restaurant like that place, I think, like say, Golden Corral would go out of business. But
I was recently in Florida with family members and was treated by friends of ours, David and Burl Ferbert, and had a wonderful experience. Just like, some restaurants, they got music, it's either too loud or man, it was just wonderful. And it was and the first time, and I passed by this restaurant because it's a chain in different states, or if not in different states, I know in various different cities in Florida, you will find the same restaurant. And that's Bahama Breeze. The food was really good.
I never heard of Bahama Breeze.
I've been in there.
Really nice. Laid out, comfortable, good staff. The one that we were treated to it was just wonderful. Good.
The other thing is Asian buffet. I'm gonna tell you, you got to be careful which one you're going in. But I'm gonna tell you, going the right one. They got some decent food, but you got the wrong one.
How do you know? How do you know the right one from the wrong one?
The Corral look like the best place.
But how do you know the right Asian buffet from the wrong Asian buffet.
You can walk in there and see it one time, man. The way they prepare the food and what's available, the selection, one time. Now, I'm here tonight. Hey, but this is a decent one.
Yeah. I'll settle for PJ Chang's.
Call the troops in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, call the troops in. That's the reward.
Yeah. But, you have to be...
It is an interesting topic because when you think about it, you're over there, and I remember I used to take young athletes. And I want to be honest with you, whether they're preaching, don't eat all this McDonald's and all this crap.
Yeah.
The only alternative was to go to Golden Corral where they could eat at least some vegetables or not always be stuck with meat or hamburger or chicken or...
And it wasn't as hard on the pocket either as some of the fast food and upscale restaurants.
No, when I go to Tennessee, it's a place called the Farmer's Market, right? This restaurant. It's got the same name as there's places that sell vegetables and all that in the United States, but it's called the Farmer's. Maybe it's owned by them now. They have some serious good food. And they're like a more, I would say, upscale version of Golden Corral, but I'm going to tell you this. It's a place in Pennsylvania. I've never seen nothing like it in my life. Anybody that's been there would probably tell you the same thing I'm telling you. In terms of the quality of the food, and it is the most serious buffet on the planet. It's called Shady Maple.
Shady.
There's nothing like this place.
Shady what? Shady what?
Shady Maple.
Shady Maple?
Shady Maple.
Yeah.
Is that on the outskirts of Philadelphia or somewhere else in Pennsylvania?
No, it's up near Amish country.
I figured as much up in there. They have another restaurant called Good and Plenty.
Okay, so that makes sense.
But you know what? They're surrounded by, Connie. They're surrounded by nothing but farms.
Yeah, and Amish farms.
And everything, nothing's processed by man.
I went to school in that area, actually.
Oh, really?
I went to Good and Plenty on many occasions.
They say the people there, they really cook well.
Yes, they do.
And all of the food's coming straight from the earth.
Yep.
If you like Good and Plenty, you'll go crazy on Shady Maple. I said, unbelievable. And I was with a friend who knew about it, and I kept playing it down and playing it over. I said, man, and finally we went. I said, but we should have listened to this guy. I'd have said, no, keep on.
And it's called Shady Maple.
Shady Maple.
Wow.
Nothing like that, man. I think Amish earned it and run it.
Okay.
It's a huge place.
Okay.
It even has a kind of a exotic, wholesome house food. You name it. Kind of a mall underneath the store.
Oh wow.
We discovered. We went down the stairs and I said, well, look, this is a mall full of fresh teas and like what you do, Connie. And everything else that is health orientated or even buying little placards that have little sayings on it and it's amazing.
Well, the Amish are very big on, especially the Amish women are very big on bread baking, baking pies and preservatives, canning,
right? And bottling.
That type of thing. The Amish women are very big on that. I mean, it was that way when I was in school.
What's the difference between the Amish and the Quakers? Are they the same?
They're not the same. I can't comment on the Quakers' food because I haven't had that experience. I don't know about the Mike has, but certainly I can speak to the Amish because, like I say, I went to school out in that area. You know.
So it's mostly the Amish versus the Mennonites, isn't it, in that area? In other words, the Amish, they are strict on the way they do things and farm, and of course, no automobiles. No electricity, no water.
Or horse and carriage only,
But the Mennonites live very similar, except they do allow modern conveniences. Automobiles, electricity, all that, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, because the faculty at my school used to go and get eggs and cheese from the Amish farms. Yeah, and bread, they would buy from them. So we would go, if we had a free period that we could go with faculty out to the farms, we used to go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
that must have been a nice experience.
It was a fabulous tremendous experience.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that Lancaster area and that New Orleans.
I agree.
That's Amish territory. There's nothing like it, man. I implore anybody to visit that once in a lifetime.
And
Very,
they have their
very
own
peaceful too.
Yeah, they have their own doctors that tend to the sick.
Okay.
Without the pharmaceuticals.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were not, as we know, they were strictly against
modern conveniences.
the COVID-19.
Oh, the vaccine.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're not going to take any of that stuff.
They didn't have no part of that.
So I wonder with that, because they're pretty much isolated, right? So they wouldn't have had contact with average people walking through an airport per se. So they must have had a very, very low incidence of COVID.
They did. It's not that they didn't get it, but they had very low rates, extremely low rates for their population. Yeah.
Especially a death. There wasn't nobody dying from it because of the way they eat. I mean, that should have been a signal right there.
Right. Strengthening of the immune system.
It's important, you know what I mean? And you got 80-year-old, 90-year-old people who aren't dying from it.
Yep.
And
not only that, a lot of them, because of their European background, they are very familiar with the herbal tonics. So they make herbal tonics, and they make herbal elixirs and cough syrups and lozenges and yes, balms and ointments and lotions and all types of stuff.
Yeah, because that's cold country. When the flu season or the winter season hits you, it's freezing.
It is, yes.
Yeah, it can get cold there. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this: most of our animal supplies, whether it's Noah's Ark or whether it's people that own horses like myself, most of the hay and feed come from there. And to be honest with you, most of the horses producers here over the years have come from there. In fact, we just bought a whole bunch from that area.
Oh wow!
That's always been.
So what's the? It's a little bit off topic. What's the average price of a horse?
Oh, horse! You can get a horse from $500,000 to $5 million. A horse can. It just depends on the training, the edge, the quality,
pedigree,
the show record. Or go to a sale. You go to a sale over there, auction. Man, you got a horse cheap that's decent. You may have to do a little training to it. Know what you're doing, but yeah, that's always been an area where, mind you, I'm going to tell you this. There's also an area you can get cheated fast.
Oh.
They will drug a horse and make you think it's the best thing in the world too.
Okay.
But I would say 90% of the time you get a pretty good deal, and you'll pay a lot less than pay $50,000 for a warm blood to jump. You go over there, you buy a warm blood, probably $3,000 in training, and ends up beating the $50,000 one in 1 or 2 years. So,
wow.
So that area has always been a heaven, especially the Portuguese Bermudans from Malcolm to Sir. I would say Hubby Charles, a black guy. Obviously we all know Hubby. Yeah. Hubby used to buy a lot of horses from that area. So it's always been learned by Bermudians.
Okay.
It's nothing new. It's not to people in the horse world.
Right.
But as Connie would improve, from a house perspective, you certainly want to go. It's a place I encourage people to go and see how people can live naturally.
Yeah, I mean, they even take care of their animals well. Whatever animals they're raising, whether it be chickens, rabbits, ducks, geese, turkeys, what beef, cows, whatever the sheep, whatever they're raising, those animals are well taken care of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's like everywhere, percentage-wise, there's, I would say 20% of them, they're pretty tough for an animal. But I would say 80% of them, oh man, they know that stuff, and they don't need a vet.
No, they don't. Yeah,
no. Stuff,
yeah,
wow.
They do.
So in that area, do they have supermarkets that are open for regular consumers, or do you need a contact to go in?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You could go. Anybody could go in.
They have regular supermarkets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But a lot of the people, a lot of the residents in that area, by choice, they go to the Amish farmers markets because they know they're going to get good quality produce. Even berries, when the berries are out, like the blueberries, the blackberries, the strawberries.
Oh, wow.
Whether they're cultivated or whether they're wild strawberries, all types of berries that would come out, they grow those berries, and you can rest assured that there are no chemicals added.
Right, no additives.
Yeah.
And I had a piece of apple pie there one time in a restaurant. I couldn't believe what I was tasting.
Yeah.
I said, man.
Well, they grow apples. They grow apples.
Apple pie taste like.
Peaches. They grow peaches.
Right.
Yeah. They're beautiful, beautiful pies and cakes and cookies. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't play, man. They don't mess around. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's a place to go. I would say once in a lifetime. I mean, people go to Philadelphia. It's like, get a trip up.
They're looking for. They're just looking for
Poconos.
They're looking for brotherly love, man. Come on.
Man,
remember when that was a thing up in the Poconos with the heart-shaped tubs?
Indian territory, man. Beautiful country up there too. Casinos and everything up there.
Yeah, take a day trip up to that. It's only about 50 miles away, and you would see a whole new world.
Yeah, and that's all around the Lansing. No, that's.
You drive into that valley, you would see a whole new world. It's amazing. And you can go back to the city after that. You may not want to go back to the city.
So what's the area? When I said Lansing, that's Michigan, but we're talking Pennsylvania. So what area? Lancaster.
Yeah.
Lancaster.
Yeah, Lancaster, and it's an area in particular you would like, Glenn, and it's got it's got a little bit of an obscene name, Intercourse, Pennsylvania. You go into Lancaster and Intercourse, that's where you would like. It's that wholesome cooking right there.
Yeah.
I don't know where they came up with their name, but
they had me wondering a little bit. And he said I would like it.
Here's what you can expect, Glenn.
Yeah.
Don't expect to see all automobiles, because you think you're going back into the 30s in Bermuda.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You see horse and buggies.
Horse and buggy, yeah. I've seen the documentaries. On that kind of lifestyle. It's very, very interesting. Even the way they oven bake stuff, it's in the brick ovens and that whole 9 yards, man. It's really interesting.
Yeah, Connie talking earlier about sewing.
Yes, the yarn.
Man, you see a lot of that.
Yeah, weaving.
They make all of their own clothing, right?
They buy fabric, and a lot of the ladies sew.
Yeah, have those bonnets on.
And the dresses.
And
but
the long
they're
dresses,
very basic.
Yeah, very basic.
And remember, they're not operating anything by electricity.
Yep.
You got foot paddles.
That's right, foot looms.
Spindles or whatever.
Yep, foot spindles. Yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it all. Like I say, I was going to boarding school out in that area for a couple of years, and would often go into Pennsylvania Dutch country with staff. Yeah.
There's a really strong Dutch culture there, isn't it?
Well, that's what I said. European, German, Dutch. Yeah,
and German, right?
Yeah, but they call us them English.
Okay.
But hey, one thing about it there, it may be Dutch, but it's very English.
Right.
Also.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about that part of it. They want your dollars.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. They don't believe in banks.
No.
So everything's under the bed, under the mattress?
Well, I wouldn't say it's under the mattress. I would say it's well stashed.
Yeah.
Right? But they pay for everything in cash. They don't do credit. So no credit cards. They do. They have a system that will not break.
So when you go there to purchase anything, you better have cash.
Oh yeah. They don't do cards.
Wow.
Yeah. Cash and carry.
You got to remember, they're very religious, and
yes.
Things they believe is vanities, and they have a lot of rules, man. Surrounding that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm good friends with a few of them that keep horses for me or do whatever I need. So I've learned a lot about their culture and their way.
Okay.
They think the do's and the don'ts. All that type of stuff. It's a very interesting interesting place, man.
You know, next time I'm in Pennsylvania, I'm gonna visit like the Lancashire area.
Nice place to take your family, man. Nice place.
The grandkids will
As a
like
matter
it.
of fact,
They will.
up in Lancaster now, they've actually set up an area that's a lot like when you go to Orlando, where the people that are tourists can stay and they can branch over to the actual Amish area.
Oh, wow.
I mean? So it's set up right now. So if you're taking your family and children, it's no longer where like you're strictly putting them in an environment like if some of them are a little bit restless. You can take them to a little theme park or something. I think they even got an Amish theme park there. But obviously that's not what I like and what I go for. But if people wanted to go with their family and branch out and see a little bit of the actual culture or their culture, they can go and then come back to an area where it's a little bit more commercial.
Okay.
But you still see farmland right beside that area. You know what I mean? You see the farms all in that area, close proximity. So yeah, it's tourism wise everywhere grows if it's something different to see.
And what you won't see are the big farm, the big machineries on the farm.
Tractors
Yeah,
and
tractors and all that. No,
Yeah.
they still have
Plow,
the horse and
horse plow.
horse plow, right?
Clyde Hills, man. Clyde
So they must be really fit to a big degree because they're physically exerting energy.
Yeah, all the time, all the time.
I tell you this,
know?
we grew up looking at those little red farms and all that, and I always wondered, because where I was, man, even in the horse world, like the stables were very modernized, and they had long barns, and they were beautiful, but I always said, well, these little red barns that I see in the pictures with this beautiful landscape behind them and farms. And then when I went there, Glenn, I said, oh, this is where they are. This is where they are. You know what I mean?
And the covered bridges. Covered bridges. And a lot of those barns have been actually turned into homes. Barn conversions, as they call them.
That's where they would store like wheat and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And put the animals in the wintertime. Yeah, they would put them in that area. But I want to talk a little bit about the detox herbs.
Oh,
Do
okay.
that.
Yes.
But anyway,
All right.
I just thought I'd run into that situation because I really was puzzled where to eat.
Well, you could have Golden Corral. I'll leave that all for you, Michael.
If it's in the countryside, I go for it. I'm not too sure about inner city. I don't know about that.
Right. All right, buddy. Interesting stuff.
Yes.
So now, detoxing. A lot of people are going to be looking to detox after, I suppose, the indulgence during the holidays and all of the holiday cuisine. The rain, the cassava, the turkey, the ham.
They're
and
coming in.
all of that good stuff,
They're
right?
asking for the dandelion and the burdock.
Okay.
And the nettle and or a complete detox formula that involves a combination or a proprietary blend of herbs that will detox the liver, the kidneys, the vital organs.
And you obviously
cleanse the
provide
blood.
that.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is the time of year people do that. It's a time of year where
Binge and
everybody
then
invests in a gym membership that they use for about a week or two.
Yeah. After making the New Year's resolution, which only lasts for, like you said, about a week or two, right? For
and
most
then they
people.
start falling back. Yep.
Yeah. Creatures of habit, can't help it.
Yep.
Unless you are really disciplined to the degree that you can sacrifice the urges and the cravings that you were so used to being a part of your diet.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like I say, you have your dandelion, your milk thistle, your artichoke and turmeric for liver
Now, what's
support.
milk thistle?
Milk thistle is...
not the thistle that the chickens eat.
It's a thistle, but it's a different type of thistle.
Okay.
It doesn't traditionally grow here in Bermuda.
Okay.
And then for your kidney and lymphatic system, you have nettles, cleavers, burdock root, and red clover.
All available here in Bermuda, or just at
Well, I mean,
Herb Goddess?
these are some of the herbs that we sell.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I'm sure they can be found in other establishments.
Okay.
You know, across the island. Then you have your ginger, your peppermint, and your chamomile
Oh, yeah.
for your digestive health. What lots of people are looking to do is they're looking to do some sort of elimination diet or food plan where they're eliminating bread or they're eliminating meat or they're eliminating pastas and rices. And they're concentrating more on protein such as fish, or
nuts,
or chicken, or nuts, or some sort of vegetarian meat substitute that's made from legumes, made from
tofu.
Well, I wouldn't encourage tofu. I've talked about that.
It has
before.
no taste.
Right?
Does it?
No, I wouldn't.
So what's the big deal about it?
90%.
Because a lot of vegetarians seem like they really.
90% of your tofu, particularly here we get from the U.S., is genetically modified. So that's the reason why I don't.
What is it made of?
It's made from soy.
Soy, right? Okay.
And so if you're
so is
if
it
you're
high in salt content, or they?
It depends. It depends who is making the meat substitute. You can very easily do it yourself. I have friends that do it. Yeah, I make my own veggie burgers. Yeah, I long stopped buying
with tofu.
No. I tell you, I don't use tofu.
Okay. So what do you make the veggie burgers out of?
You can make your veggie burgers out of quinoa. You can make your...
I never heard of that.
Okay.
Quinoa, okay.
Yes, it's a grain.
Oh, okay.
You can make your veggie burgers out of wild rice or,
So it's all in the flavoring and that kind of thing? Chickpeas, I've heard of that before.
Yes.
Do you know who used to have the best veggie burgers on the island that I've had? The late Miss Ford on Glebe Road. Russ Ford and the Fords, Gaynell Ford's mom.
Oh, okay.
Her restaurant was unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
And her and the veggie burgers every Friday. Oh, boy.
You eat veggie burgers?
Well, I used to when she was living and had the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I haven't eaten any since.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. There's many ways to make veggie burgers, many recipes. People are always coming up with new ideas, adding new stuff.
And would all be in the seasoning
is
and
something
how
that I like a lot. Falafels. Mayo sells falafels. That's the Middle Eastern chickpea. Meatball, if you will.
Oh, really?
Yes, but it's all vegetable.
Taste similar to a real meat?
No. I mean, it
so
has that
you
texture.
need an acquired taste?
Yeah, but a lot of people like falafel because it is vegetarian based, because it's high in protein, because you use other vegetables and they're fresh vegetables or fresh.
When you're making it for
like celery.
Okay. And you eat it with what?
Or spinach
you eat it with spaghetti or something like that?
No, you don't necessarily eat it with spaghetti. I mean, the Middle Eastern people usually have what is known as a pita bread.
Oh, yeah.
That flat bread. Yeah. And you cut in the middle of it, and so you would put the falafel in there with lettuce, tomato, or some other type of salad. Topping.
Okay.
And then they would make like a yogurt dressing or some other kind of dressing.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it is really good.
Wow, falafel! I never heard of that before.
Falafel and tabbouleh. I eat a lot of that.
Tabbouleh.
Yeah.
And that's also
also vegetarian.
Eastern.
Yes, Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern.
I eat a lot of that when I'm in the UK because there are so many Middle Eastern restaurants.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Do you have to be as careful with the Middle Eastern restaurants as you would with any restaurant?
Yeah. I mean, presentation and like Mike said, the menu, you can pretty much judge.
Yeah.
But again, it's good to find out from the local people where to eat.
They would know.
They would know best.
Yeah.
You just ask people wherever you're staying, Airbnb, a hotel, or with friends or whatever, and they pretty much.
One thing unique about the UK is that because of the really diverse population, the demographics. Everywhere you get the same thing. It would be from different people, but it's if you're going to go to a Brazilian restaurant, if you're going to go to a Middle Eastern restaurant, Caribbean restaurant, they got them everywhere, all over.
Yes.
Unlike in the U.S., you can get that, but it's in pockets where there mainly is the communities. I mean, that holds true for the UK as well, but I find that in different places, you because of the different ethnic groups that are all over the UK, you find these restaurants and eateries that, you know, have the very, you know, interesting variety of cuisine based on their ethnic culture and where they're from in the world.
Yeah, I
like
mean, you have
hold on
lots
to those
of
traditions.
African restaurants.
And Africans,
You know? So you have the Middle Eastern, the African, you have, you know, Spanish restaurants, you have a couple of Portuguese in there, you have the Greeks, Mediterranean cuisine, you have French, you have
They're
Italian.
like a lot of lamb.
Yeah.
The Greeks. I know in D.C., I lived there for a while. There was an area in Northwest, Adams Morgan, I think it was called. And the African restaurants and all different types of restaurants.
Yeah.
One's like one street, because you had on Massachusetts Avenue, I believe it was, what they called Embassy Row, where all of the international embassies were kind of lined up in their palatial buildings. So in that area, within walking distance or not more than 10 minutes away, you would have the smorgasbord of choices as far as restaurants is concerned.
Yeah.
I didn't eat at a lot of them, but I've been by a lot of them. And entertainment as well. Like they would have their own
And don't
entertainment.
forget the Indians, because the British love their curry.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, the Indian restaurants are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only
lot of 'em.
thing, you know, I think I would try an Indian restaurant in the UK, not in India.
Well, I mean, in India, you have to know where to go.
Oh,
if not, you're going to
mercy.
develop Delhi belly.
Oh, Delhi belly? I've had Delhi belly.
Me too.
Jeez, man. It's the worst feeling
Yeah, it is.
that
It
you
is.
could imagine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's like you're going to be permanently feeling sick.
Yeah. It
You know,
is.
like
It takes a
it's-
while.
Oh, jeez. Ah, man.
It takes a while.
And so anyone that's traveling to India is usually advised not to drink the water
Yeah.
and not to drink anything that's washed in the water that will go directly into your mouth.
Right. Well,
So if you're going to eat fruit that's got skin. So watermelon, not if it's caught, but watermelon, oranges, don't eat apples.
well,
peaches
you,
and that kind of thing.
you can't even go by that theory, and I'll tell
Really?
you why.
Okay.
Because I went to a farmer's market when I was in India. Right?
Really?
I found.
You're quite brave.
I am, yeah. and I saw sugar apples, and I saw.
Well, sugar apple's
mangosteen.
cool because sugar apple, you eat the inside.
Yeah.
So that's
right.
what I'm saying. You
No.
eat the inside of the fruits.
No.
No. Wait.
No.
What?
And I'm going to tell you why, because not all the fruits are grown in sanitary conditions.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Mercy.
So don't forget, a lot of those folks still don't have flushing toilets. They
Right,
still
right.
live like they lived 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, in very rural areas.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where you see them with the cow and you know, out in the field,
Yeah.
a lot like the Amish.
Yeah. Shocking.
Right? And, you know, these areas still exist. There's
It's a
not
beautiful
a lot
place,
of,
but the abject poverty in certain
Yeah,
areas.
it's an
on one
extreme
side of the
place.
train tracks.
Yeah.
You know, it's cardboard homes. Right, and on the other side, it's palatial.
Yeah. And you know,
That's
like
a
I say,
result, I
you
suppose,
have
of the
to-
caste system
Yes.
that they have.
Yeah. So you do have to be careful. And that's where I made my mistake. And that's how I got Delhi belly.
Yeah.
Was because I saw these sugar apples and I saw. And I think I told you this before. That was the first time I had seen carrots outside of orange carrots. I saw
India?
in India. They had
wow.
they had white, they had green, they had yellow, red, purple. And I kept saying, why do these vegetables look like carrots, and my
They were
God,
carrots.
yeah, they were carrots. But
They were grown in
those of
those
us,
areas.
right? Those of us who've only ever grown up with orange carrots, you know,
They were grown in the gremlin area.
in the gremlin.
Yeah. I was really, I had seen documentaries, I'd seen and read about India. It's a beautiful country, no doubt about
very
it.
extremely rich, extremely poor,
Yeah, but-
extremely
and that's the thing.
spiritual, and extremely corrupt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that really, it was rather shocking, like in your face kind of thing. When I experienced it, I was like, wow. I was expecting it not to be, all nice, but the parts that weren't nice were really not nice.
I don't know how many. I mean, for me, it's been many years ago since
And
I traveled
I didn't get to
India.
Mumbai, but I was in Delhi.
Yeah, I was in Mumbai and Delhi and Hardwar up near the Himalayan mountains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Up there, I hear is really beautiful.
Yeah,
too.
it is.
Yeah.
It is, and that's where I saw where civilization hadn't really stepped into the modern age, where you saw the ox going round and
Yeah,
round
yeah.
in circles, with,
Drawing the water.
not just drawing the water, but also grinding the grain, into flour and that type of thing, and the women. Farming and so on and so forth.
It's really humbling experience.
It is a humbling experience.
Yeah.
It is, and so that's where I more or less, like I say, developed my Delhi belly. Was out in those areas.
How long did it last for you?
Oh God, I had one really. I've been to India like 4 times, and
why?
Yeah.
After having Delhi belly the first time, that would have been lights out.
No.
So.
I mean, I understood that.
No, I get it.
I
yeah.
was responsible for that.
So
that era.
Yeah.
Because-
But why 4 times? It's not just a hop, skip, and jump away.
No, it's not just a hop, skip, and jump away. It was spread out over years. It wasn't all done in 1 year.
But why did you decide to go back?
Because I was on a spiritual quest at that time.
Okay.
I actually was deeply into meditation.
Okay.
At that time.
Transcendental is big there.
Yeah, it is. And so is silver. So is all types of
Hindu and all that
meditation.
kind of stuff,
yeah. And I did my spiritual cleansing in the Ganges River.
Oh, wow.
And,
Really?
Yeah. And
No, that water's not clean.
no, it depends where you go.
Really?
Yeah, it depends where you go. Yep. So it's what you see on.
There's thousands of people that go in that water.
Yeah, it's
At a time.
Yes, I know, but not the whole area. The Ganges
You didn't
is
substan-
huge.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah.
It's huge.
So
right?
you didn't
And
submerge
there
your head though, right?
I did. Yes, absolutely. My whole body.
Really?
Yeah. They had chains
Well,
that
you're still
were
here, so
cemented.
it speaks volumes.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
They had chains that were cemented into the dock.
You had to hold on.
And you held on to that because the current coming down from the mountains.
Oh, it would sweep you right out to the Indian Ocean.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you get to visit the Taj Mahal?
I didn't get to visit the Taj Mahal. No, I didn't. But did spend time, on the steps of the Ganges in meditation. So that's basically what drew me back. Yeah.
And so when you were there, the food, did you adapt to their food, or did you look for food
I
that you
didn't
were
eat
used
street
to?
food, if that's what you mean. I
Yeah.
mean, I did take advice on that.
Yeah.
But what happened with the farmers market is the sugar apples just got me. Right?
Yeah. Sugar apples is a beautiful
and
thing.
then they had wood apples as well.
Yeah.
And so,
I started to have a sugar apple tree growing.
Yeah.
And then those high velocity winds
oh yeah,
just wiped
they've just
it out.
been
It hurt
burning.
my heart.
Yeah, just burning everything.
Avocado trees, same thing.
Yeah.
They were coming along so nice. And then all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, because of the velocity of the winds.
Yes.
And I didn't get have time, or even think about just protecting them,
The hotel Oberoi in Mumbai, That was one of the hotels that I ate at, and I had the traditional sit down with all the dishes, and they had the rose petal and lemon water for you to wash your hands.
Oh, okay.
But you ate with your hands.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
you picked up the food with the naan bread, and
Yeah.
yeah.
The naan bread, I kind of like that. They got different flavors too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And so it was traditional sit down on cushions. You know.
Okay. Okay.
And they had the brick oven right there.
Yeah.
In the dining.
Were you serenaded with a snake charmer as well?
No, I was not serenaded with a snake charmer. Good Lord.
Well, they're well known.
Yes, I know, but they wouldn't be in the dining room at the Oberoi.
Yeah,
I can
well,
tell you that.
you would look pretty appetizing to one of them, I'm sure.
I'm sure. One of those cobras. Oh, God.
But India is a very interesting place in the history.
Yeah.
Very, very. And so now, an economic power in the world too.
Leading.
And they've surpassed 1 billion in population.
Yes.
In India. That's not including those that are outside of India living.
Well, those so-called third world countries are now
Becoming first world.
That's right. They are
quicker than
leading
you can
in
imagine.
technology,
China.
AI, and the
all
whole
of that,
9 yards.
all of that.
Yeah.
You know, in China, you know, we're talking about face recognition and all of that kind of stuff. Well, in China, they're so far ahead. They have discovered and developed technology that identifies you just as assuredly as a fingerprint would.
Really?
By the way you walk.
Oh.
Your walking gait is completely unique to the individual. So now if they don't get a facial recognition,
Yeah.
they just need to see how you walk
Mercy.
and can identify you.
Well, I know there's more to come. I know there's more to come. I think it's invasive. I think it's unnecessary, but that's just the way I think.
It's the way of the world.
You know, it's the way of it's the way of that
They
world.
call it the hope of the wicked.
What? The hope of the wicked?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a book on it.
Oh my
A
goodness.
very, very interesting book that has a lot of substantiated and valid accounts of what the mindset, thinking, and plan was as far as the one world government
Yeah.
is concerned. Many people don't necessarily give much credence, but there are a lot that do because of the authenticity of the content of the book, based in fact through documents and those who have given real-time, real-life accounts of their experiences in very high places.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
So
sure.
it speaks about the banking world, the World Bank, and all of that. It speaks about the United States Treasury and the what do you call it? The it just escapes me right now, but the neopolitical and the geopolitical evolving of the planet, and all of the players.
Yeah.
From the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and all of that.
Carnegies, the DuPonts.
All of that. Jackal Island. It gives you an overall historical perspective on who the players are.
I think there are a few books out like that
Yeah.
now that you're talking about this particular book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it speaks to how, the global economics worked from where it started and what the plan was being thought about to carry it on and be even more dominant by, having this, what they call one world situation.
Well,
I find it very interesting reading, if just for reading's sake.
yeah.
But you can't ignore some of the history.
No, not at all. I'm sure there aren't too many of us in there.
Yeah, no, not
Right.
many, if any.
If any, that's
Save
right.
and except for what it was that we were used for to help
You better believe it.
those that were the vanguards at the time to accumulate the kind of wealth that became generational and is up until this day and time.
Yep.
And even some of the nonprofit organizations and the philanthropy, because a lot of these people did, write off in taxes huge amounts because of the wealth that they had, and did it through charitable contributions to the causes that were dear to them.
But there was always some sort of catch to that.
Yeah.
It wasn't a clean exchange.
No.
No. And so
well intentioned, but not always very well executed.
And so they were buying your silence if you didn't speak about this or put that information out there. If you're funded by government and you're a charity and you know that certain things are true, you're not going to speak to that because you're funded by government, right? Your charity is funded by government.
And then you go even beyond that to the secret societies.
Yeah. And
get into that, boy.
But they are all of that is tied into governments. It's not. It's one and the same.
Well, several presidents of the United States were members and very high up in the hierarchy of secret societies. Many.
Indeed,
and we'd be very surprised. Right on up until this day and time.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about back in the day, presidents of the United States and prime ministers of other countries, all connected by way of their loyalty to the secret society that they were attached to. Yeah.
So let's just tell the folks that want to, clean up a little bit, how they can juice with fresh fruits and vegetables, how they can eat salads.
Do they need the juicers or...
They have juice.
What would be the ones that you would recommend?
I have a juicer. So I have a juicer. I juice. So I don't necessarily, I may pick up a juice every now and then if I'm in a hurry. But I have a juicer. So like this morning, I made my juice, brought it in, and kind of had it in between.
Okay.
And salads, most definitely.
And a juicer is different than a blender.
It is. Yeah.
So
some people like to blend with water. Other people like to extract just the juice.
And that's the juicer.
Right. And then, you just have your soups and just herbal teas and water with lemon or lime or some other citrus in there. Then you can do like cucumber water, cucumber and mint. There are so many different avenues that you can take with regard to your hydration. And the thing of it is, a lot of people think that they constantly need to be drinking water. And I just want to say to our listening audience that there's such a thing as too much water. And what that too much water does is it flushes out the vital and essential vitamins and minerals from the body. So if you're cleaning up your diet for a period of time just to do this detox for how many ever days or however long a period of time, make sure that it's not just water that you're doing. I never advocate that type of fasting or that type of diet plan is a safe one. Particularly with elderly people, they need nutrient-dense food. Children need nutrient-dense food. So if you're, as an adult, you're going to clean up your diet, make sure that you have your fresh fruit and vegetable juices, your salads, your soups, steamed veg, that type of thing, because you're going to extract not just vitamins and nutrients, but you're also going to stay hydrated that way and not just continuously flushing out with water.
All the nutrients that you have purposely, committed to consuming. Being counterproductive and flushing it out, thinking that, 16 ounces of water is gonna,
Well, there's great big bottles. People drinking 2 and 3 bottles of that.
This size here is not bad, right?
Well, it's not bad, but I hope you're just doing one of those a day.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Okay, all right.
If that, I might do just half, but I have in here herb tea. I got ginger, rosemary, lemongrass, wild mint.
Is this from the backyard garden?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Runnings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't put any aloe or any cochineal in it this time. And a bit of citrus.
Nice.
And the leaf of life.
Okay, flopper.
Flopper leaf. That grows in my yard as well.
Cool.
So those are the ingredients. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Gave Nikita some. She loves it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't let her know I've got it and not give her some.
Oh, okay.
So I always bring enough.
Okay. You bring enough to share.
Yeah. Yep.
Very good.
Well, this has been
a nice introduction to 2026.
Oh, beautiful. I couldn't have asked for anything better. Yes, indeed. And we'll see you again next week because now Mel is on her sojourn around the world.
Oh, okay.
So she's going to be gone indefinitely.
Okay.
So up until the point in time that she does return, if she returns, it'll be Dr. Connie Frith, Fridays at 3 o'clock.
Alrighty.
Or 3:30.
Okay.
Depending on our guests. But Dr. Connie Frith will be joining us for our usual Friday conversation right here on Magic 102.7 FM. So thank you, my darling.
Thank you.
And folks, thank you for being a part of it. We do wish you a very healthy, happy, and indeed abundantly prosperous 2026. Be good to yourselves and enjoy the remainder of your evening. We'll see you come next Tuesday, God willing. Take care.
102.7 WMJ FM Bermuda. Magic 102.7.